Here on TV Land, we've got all the reruns for you. And now, back to our special showing of Welcome Back, Kotter. Mr. Kotter. Mr. Kotter, I think I'm gay. Mr. Kotter.
I think my dick is gay. Maybe I'm not.
Mr. Kotter.
My dick is.
Mr. Kotter, my dick. My mind says I want to go for breasts. My mind says I like breasts. Everyone tells me I like breasts. But Mr. Kotter, I want to suck a penis. Mr. Kotter, my heart tells me I like penis. What do I do?
And this is Welcome Back Carter, as in Jimmy Carter?
Welcome Back Carter, yeah.
Mr. President, I think I'm gay.
Mr. President, I think I'm gay.
Can you do
now, Vinny Barbarino?
All right, he's a Georgia.
It's okay to want to suck a penis.
Georgia peanut farmer.
I can't do it good.
Think
Jimmy
Georgia
Carter.
peanut farmer. So like, by golly, I just don't like sucking peanuts. I like saying grace. That's not quite there.
Jimmy Carter.
Jimmy.
I founded Habitat for Humanity.
Oh, there it is.
And I want to suck a penis.
Yeah.
Mr. Carter, are you saying you also want to suck penises? Would you like to suck a penis with me, Vinny Barbarino? Jeez.
Vinny Barbaradouche.
Vinny Barbaradouche?
Barbaradouche.
Vinny Barbaradouche. That's not the character from we're talking about. We're talking about famous closeted homosexual. That's
Axl Rose.
Yes. Axl Rose, famous closeted homosexual Axl Rose.
You know what? My New Year's
What,
resolution was.
What was it?
I'm gonna listen to more Robert Fripp.
Why? That's a pretty specific. Becoming a Fripp guy.
I'm gonna be a Fripp guy in 2022.
Famously prickly prog rock guitarist Robert Fripp.
Robert Fripp is maybe the greatest composer of his generation. No, I'm kidding.
It's bold. It's a bold statement. Some people are like that. Have you met Fripp guys?
Yeah.
There's a whole genre of Fripp guys out there who are like steely and intense and very skinny. And they all have analog tape decks.
I don't know. I was listening to Fripp and Sylvian. You know David Sylvian?
Fripp and Sylvian.
Lead singer of Japan, of course.
Yeah, of course.
Really, it's like faintly weird. It's like a tiny bit weird. Mm-hmm. It's good.
Only a tiny bit weird.
Just a tiny bit. And then I listened to Fripp and Eno.
No pussyfooting.
Which is also a great one. And it made me think, like, I really wish there was, like, Fripp and Anselmo. You know?
From Pantera?
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be a great combination.
Well,
I think
it's like Lou Reed and Metallica, basically, so...
I'm a defender of Lulu. I think it's actually pretty interesting.
Yeah, I want to see the reverse band with James Hetfield singing over like the rest of the Velvet Underground.
Over the Velvet Underground, James Hetfield and Mo Tucker like talking Republican politics and agreeing with each other constantly. What would James and now everybody, here's James Hetfield. Pair of blue eyes,
And the needle goes in my vein. Heroin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Heroin. Tomorrow's parties.
That's going to be a lot of clipping. Sorry for your ears.
I'm waiting for the man.
Damn.
$26 in my head.
Okay, stop.
All I see,
You have
absolute horror.
You have to stop now. We're going to lose all our listeners.
I cannot live. I cannot die.
No. He's a good singer.
He is a good singer.
I would defend Hetfield. I would defend Hetfield. In terms of Metallica, I defend Hetfield and, of course, deceased Cliff. What's his face?
Well, Cliff was everyone's favorite member. He was everyone's special little guy.
When you're basically your front man dies, it sucks as a band. He was the front man. He was the coolest one to watch.
Yeah.
If you watch old performances, you're like, holy shit, this is a bass forward band, and then he died? That sucks.
Yeah, and, Robert Trujillo, no slouch. No slouch in the bass department.
Yeah, the crab stance but that became a meme. I mean, he was influential in that the crab thing is like a meme because of him, and there's a meme band called like crab metal, maybe? I don't know.
No, that was 10 years ago. You're talking about the band Attack Attack. It was the one and only crabcore band, and it was notorious for sounding terrible.
Well, yeah,
but you know that early YouTube culture with the scene kid hair, you know, that sort of
like
thing.
I tweeted finger tapping at Five Guys, you know, like burgers and solos, my dude, burgers and solos,
burgers and solos all the time, man.
Like, dude, you got the new Dragon Force album? Of course I do, my dude. I downloaded it and I have an MP3 of it on my Zune.
Yeah. That's because finger tapping was really necessary to eat burgers and play guitars at the same time. Because you only need one hand.
Yeah.
Yeah. And if you can, that's what's great about finger tapping is you can jack off while doing it as well.
Mm-hmm.
You ever jack off while doing
guitar?
A guitar solo? That would be pretty awesome. You'd be a pretty awesome guy if you did that.
I can't shred anymore. I gotta confess, my fingers muscles have atrophied, and I'm no longer a shredder. I've laid down my title and my belt. They give you like a WWE style belt for guitar shredding.
Yeah.
I got like a silver, like, you know, a really early one, but because, you know, when you learn Crazy Train solo, they give you the belt. And they're like, we got a new finger tapper.
There you go. Everybody loves those guys.
Yeah.
Everybody loves finger tapping. It's the most universally beloved guitar technique.
Well, it's funny to like, I feel like, I don't know, I spent a lot of time learning a really useless skill to play the guitar. I
That's
guess
not useless.
It's useless in that I'm alone all the time, and like I guess I can play for my own appreciation, but eventually I'm like, yeah, I know I can do the guitar, but no one else gives a shit.
You can make recordings. I don't know. Is music meant to be inherently social?
Yeah.
I know I generate music consistently without any expectation of anybody listening to it. I like doing it in a vacuum.
Don't you get tired,
it's
though?
more of a mental exercise for me, you know? But I haven't done it in a while, although sometimes I get ideas and I'll record them real quick in GarageBand. But yeah, I sort of, especially musical composition, I like the ability to diarize, which is when you have diarrhea.
Right. I came up with that independently as well, that my songs would be like a diary of what I was feeling. But I don't, I try to go back and listen to my repertoire, and it's kind of like, oh, okay, depressed. Oh, I was depressed.
Yes, but different kinds of depression.
Yeah.
You know, I keep trying to get into the Smiths, but I can't. It's Morrissey's voice is the worst. I don't get it. Well, I don't get what people see in it.
They don't. That's what they see in it. I mean, it's like, do you like Rush?
Yes.
Because I didn't like Rush for so long because of Geddy Lee's voice, and then I was like, I'm just gonna accept it for what it is. And then I became really into Rush. This was when I was like 13, though. So
but the thing about Geddy Lee's voice is that there's this guilelessness to Rush. There's this goofiness to Rush, which I think makes it palatable. With the Smiths, there's this taking themselves with the utmost seriousness, which is, I think, works for a lot of people. That's what it.
Yeah, you have to be very serious. Have you ever? Maybe you should try this exercise. This February, rent a suit and walk around in the rain and listen to the Smiths. You will like it because you'll be like, I'm a fancy man, and it is raining, and that's
it is. It's very nice that they let that deaf man write music, though. Very nice that they let him sing over their songs.
Yeah.
Yeah, that deaf right-wing man.
Well, you know, a lot of artists are...
Is Morrissey right-wing, or is his politics are all over the place?
I think a lot of artists become reactionaries when their time has passed.
Johnny Rotten is a MAGA guy, which is pretty funny.
Of course they want to go back to when everyone thought they were hot shit.
Yeah. Well, it's that idea of cursory, surface-level rebelliousness.
So you have to have the ironic detachment from the beginning, which is why Steely Dan is so timeless.
That's why everybody loves Steely Dan, and nobody at all criticizes people's love of Steely Dan.
Well, do they? Are you being sly?
No. The thing is, like, Steely Dan is a thing that people of our demographic are into. You know, it's very typical.
But so I watched the Steely Dan Asia doc yesterday, and what I was thinking about was like how interesting it must feel to, like, they're officially mainstream as of last year. It's kind of weird.
You think so?
Yeah.
You think they've broached the mainstream?
It's like I wonder how it feels to finally break through 50 years later.
Well, yeah, I guess a lot of young people that I know are into Steely Dan for some reason. I think it's the music is maybe because they're operating in this hybrid funk jazz milieu, and it doesn't really. I guess it sounds like it's from the 70s, but it dates less than, say, the music of the Beatles or the Stones.
Yeah.
In their or psychedelic music in general, you know. I guess the quality Steely Dan recordings sound like they could come out today. Like, hypothetically, someone could make that music and it would be critically well received and still sound fresh.
That's a statement that I don't use anymore, though. Like, that when I say that it sounds like something that could come out today.
Yeah.
Have you listened to the shit that's coming out today?
Yeah.
It doesn't sound like Steely Dan.
Well, I think we've identified a gap in the market. There needs to be more jazz soft rock bands with wry lyrics about nefarious characters.
Eventually, all like the recording engineers are going to die out without having passed down that knowledge about like the correct German mics to use with whatever ginormous soundboard, mixing board, and we're never going to be able to have Steely Dan-esque records recorded again.
I think we need a band that's Steely Dan, but all of the music is recorded on Yeti microphones. All of the music is
USB mics.
Yeah, it's just USB mics, and it sounds really tinny. And what if Steely Dan had GarageBand clipping in it? I think that's what everyone wants to know.
What's interesting is like everyone's self-recorded music is basically colored by their USB cable, unless they sprang for like the really good converter, you know, and the sound card and the cable. Like Apple has a proprietary cable that Thunderbolt, Thunderpussy, the Thunderpussy cable.
Yeah, the Thunder cunt.
And that sounds better than not better, but it just can process a wider range, you know, all the way up to like 48.
Did you say the cable pussy? I'm thinking, do you think like anybody's ever charged their vibrator while using it?
Yeah.
I think that's pretty funny. You're sticking it in you and the cord's going into the wall. You must feel like that's what Walt Whitman was saying when he was saying, I sing the body electric.
Oh, that's a Walt Whitman
talking
thing?
About
I thought that was like a
Walt Whitman.
He said, I sing the body electric?
He said, I sing the body electric. Well, he was sucking the dick of a rockin' twink with a huge beard. I guess it's not a twink. But that's all the twinks they had back then. Back in the day. You were a gay man. So you could only get guys with huge beards.
They didn't have like little effeminate guys?
I guess they did.
I guess
there must have been.
Maybe not in America.
Can you think of 16th century twinks? What were twinks? I guess they were fops. I guess they were courtesans. I guess the 16th century was actually pretty kind to twinks. There was a place for them.
I don't know. I mean,
Mozart, twink.
Mozart was
I guess he wasn't gay.
No. I don't know.
Do you need to be gay to be a twink? I would argue there are straight twinks. Not many, though.
Not many?
Not many straight twinks.
Like how many per 100?
Timothy Chalamet is the preternatural straight, and he's probably bisexual.
Oh yeah?
He's probably has sucked some dicks in his time.
Well, you can
just like Axl Rose. who is, famous closeted homosexual celebrity Axl Rose.
When I was in college, I was having like a lot of mental problems, and one of the symptoms was I was listening to the album Chinese Democracy by Guns N' Roses.
Why were you listening? Were you like convincing yourself it was good?
All I can really say as to why is because I think I was having like a lot of like really bad mental problems. So that's pretty much the only thing that would explain why someone would listen to that album. I think
it's
Buckethead was on it.
It's a hell of an album.
Buckethead was on it, and I was like, I like Buckethead. I want to hear the Buckethead solos. But then the songs were strangely catchy.
Yeah.
And if you're familiar with the story of that album, it took Axl Rose like 20 years to finish that album. And it was a stinker, but it was interesting.
It's really overproduced.
I just kept being like, this man spent 20 years on this, and then I was like, I think comparing the psychosis he must have been having as to what I was going through, and it was a weird time. I don't know what,
you were in the mind of were you also exploring your feelings of homosexuality, much like Axl Rose was throughout the course of Chinese Democracy.
That's what the album's about.
Is it about exploring your feelings of... It's what Shackler's Revenge is about?
Yeah. Are you looking it up, or you just remember a track?
I remember the song Shackler's Revenge because it was, I think it was in a Guitar Hero game.
Okay.
And I do remember the chorus from it, which was, I don't believe in the river! Or something like that.
He doesn't believe in natural, like, geographic features of Earth.
He doesn't believe in rivers.
I don't believe in the mountain. I don't believe in the river.
I don't believe in them.
They
don't exist.
Is my mind, and this is the Chinese democracy. This is how the song goes.
This is the Chinese democracy. It's like my homosexuality. It doesn't exist. I'm trying to deny it. Why was Axl Rose all xenophobic? Why was he anti-China? Why is he saying... Right. What is he saying about the Uyghur death camps?
Well, the reason why is he initially had that surgery to try to become Chinese, and it backfired.
Yeah, he had the Ariana Grande surgery.
Right. So when it backfired, he had no other choice but to become xenophobic.
Right. Because that's what you do, It's what people that have the Dolezal surgery... They eventually become...
Well, the doctor was very apologetic when he came out. He was like, I thought you wanted to look like Paul McCartney now. Which is basically like Asian woman.
Paul McCartney looks exactly like an Asian woman.
Do you think he feels weird about the fact that he turned into what Yoko Ono looked like in 1979?
No, he just looks in the mirror and he's very self-confident. He says, John, I get it. I would fuck me too. Would you fuck me? I'd fuck me.
Yeah. Wow, the self-deprecating Paul McCartney. Actually, as I'm watching I just started watching the Get Back.
A beautiful series
Get
about
Back
some beautiful boys.
The reboot. Yeah. They're fucking rebooting documentaries now.
Well, it was originally called Let It Be. Let It Be was the original.
They're fucking rebooting these like, what are we gonna... It's like...
Yeah, we're making him happy. Let's make a happy version of the Atomic Cafe.
Peter Jackson has uncovered all the footage from the shooting of Bowling for Columbine by Michael Moore. And in this Disney Plus special, you'll see Michael Moore consume 400 Big Macs as he is shooting Bowling for Columbine.
Peter Jackson has acquired 7 more hours of the Zapruder footage, where we actually get to see the people in the Kennedy assassination have some laughs. People always think about it was such a dangerous time. But actually, the Kennedy assassination was a time of mirth. And it's what me, Peter Jackson, Hobbit Man, it's what I'm going to explore. I love the Beatles.
What did the Beatles have to say about the Kennedy assassination?
Oh, didn't like it. I thought he was a good man.
Oh, I didn't really much think about it. We were just too famous at the time.
Yeah, we were too famous. It was Beatlemania and all that, so we couldn't really pay attention to the Kennedy assassination. We were just doing a lot of speed, and we were up with girls all the time. That's all we cared about is girls. Later we found out Mr. Kennedy, he was into girls too, and we thought, oh no, we lost a good one.
Dude,
we lost a good one, lads.
Missed opportunity for the Beatles to party with Kennedy,
Yeah. We could have been eating the same pussy with Kennedy. We could have been getting rimmed out by Jane Mansfield.
She gave rim jobs? Wow.
Everyone gave rim jobs back in the day. It was the currency of the time.
Right.
Yeah. You know, it was like instead of a couple bucks, they said, "Now give me a couple of rim jobs." You know, it was currency. They're telling me about these things called cryptocurrency now. What about rim job currency?
Mm-hmm.
You know,
very true. Yeah.
You know, labor is money. That's what Marx said. That's what I read it on the socialist Beatles meme page that I manage. Paul McCartney.
Wow, man. So he's a radical.
Oh,
I mean,
I'm not. I'm in the
radical.
DSA.
Okay.
And I molested some women, so they won't let me back into the chapter meetings because of my molestations. But I'm too famous for it to stick, you know.
So is this all true? Is this all true, Mr.?
All of this is true. Paul McCartney,
wow.
DSA member, molesting woman.
Somehow.
All the time, looking like an old Asian woman, looking like Yoko, wanting to fuck myself.
Now do a Yoko impression. No, don't. No,
Everyone does. Yeah, I like Yoko's music. I'm one of those silly boys that likes her music.
Yeah, she's cool. I mean, her compositions are cool, except that she's kind of copying Lamont Young. Like,
yeah.
I mean, I guess she got. I mean, anything to make that style of music more well known, I guess. But when a lot of people see that, they're like, "Oh, this is a joke."
Yeah. But, I mean, that's the thing about performance art, is that every piece of performance art looks like a parody of performance art.
We're going to throw an egg at the wall and see what sticks.
Yeah.
And then
I sort of like that. There is a humor to it. John Cage, you know, when he was... There's some footage of him doing one of his works on television, they asked. And this particular piece involves him, like, hitting a bicycle and... putting a kettle on and hitting things with rocks, and you know, it's the staid audience of the 50s television program. You know, they won't know what to make of it, and people say, the host says, "Are you afraid you'll laugh?" And he says, "Well, I'd rather people laugh than cry." And you know,
it's never how I felt about my music.
You'd rather people cry than laugh about your music?
Oh, always. I gotta change that. I think that's the key to my rejuvenation.
You make it less music about despair and make music of hope.
No, make funny music. You know, the song. I think you've experienced this. That sometimes the songs that you've written more as a joke are the ones that have a longer life.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I think when you're not taking a song seriously, it is easier to let the spirit of creativity flow through you, because it's like, whatever, I'll just write whatever. As opposed to, you know, when a song you're saying, this has to mean something. This has to be serious. This has to, and you pour over every detail and you make sure every note is in the right place, and it's more arduous. Whereas like the song that sticks with me that I've written is my Tiny Dick song. I sing it to myself all the time.
Mm-hmm. Of course.
Because, you know, sometimes, and it was easy to write because obviously it's not important.
Or true. It's not important or true.
But within that, well, let's go over the lyrics. I think it is important. What is wrong and what is right? Sucking tiny dicks tonight.
Oh, okay.
What is good and what is bad? I know sucking tiny dicks don't make me mad.
Okay.
And the tinier the dick is the tinier the malice in your soul. And the tinier the dick is the tinier the phallus in your hole.
Yeah, I remember this song.
Yeah, there you go. You remember this song. You remember these incredibly.
Is that how
it's fun. It's fun. And the tinier the dick is the tinier the malice in your soul. Yeah. And the tinier the dick is the tinier the phallus in your hole.
Nice.
Yeah, it's a bad song, but it sticks with me.
It's all about melody, man. It's all about the melodies.
Yeah. I know music doesn't have melodies anymore. Or, like, melody doesn't seem to be as important a compositional idea as ambiance.
Yeah, hip hop has changed it a lot. Hip hop's about ambiance.
But hip hop is very melodic, but the melodies nowadays are very simple, like autotune stuff, where it's like this 3-note riff. It's what Travis Scott does all the time. It's like one of those, and they'll just repeat that over and over again. And I don't mind that. I think that's pretty good. But I like melodies that travel a lot of places, and we don't get a lot of those anymore.
Yeah. Well, I don't know.
I'm sure we do. We do get a lot because everybody's producing lots of great music constantly.
There's never been more music being put out than now.
Yeah.
We need a great machine to sift through it and deliver us the gems, like the Donnie and Joe. What are they? What Donnie and Joe Emerson? What am I thinking of?
Donnie and Joe Emerson?
Yeah.
What?
Do you know them?
No.
Let me find them real quick.
One, the Zendaya's Michi guy, Gabriel Gundacker.
You doing just gibberish now?
Yeah, it's Gabriel. It turns out he's a rapist.
Okay. Donnie and Joe Emerson. They have an album called Dreamin' Wild. I think they were like 14 and 13 when they put it out or something crazy. You should listen to that album if you haven't heard it.
Okay.
It's actually
a
really
good album
one.
Made by some teens.
Because it's like listening to it's an experience similar to listening to the castrati. Just pure teen boy.
Pure teen boy. That's what we need more of in our music, is teen boys.
Like
Glenn Greenwald thinks.
Why do we still have Justin Timberlake, Justin Bieber, all the Justins that are like 30, 40 years old around? We need some 13-year-olds.
We need some new 13-year-old talent. That's what we want. That's what we need in this country is hot new tween talent.
We haven't had a hot pop superstar in like how long? I mean, Billie Eilish, come on.
Who is Olivia? Apparently Olivia Rodrigo is popular.
I don't know. The thing about Olivia Rodrigo, I hear her name and I'm like, am I about to listen to some classical music?
Am I about to listen to some Portuguese folk songs? I don't think so. I want to listen to some broad pop music, which features synthesizers and references to the pussy.
Yeah, is that what her music is? Because if so, damn, I'm missing out.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. I couldn't. Let's listen to some bars of Olivia Rodrigo.
Okay, yeah.
I am going to listen to...
Hold on. I can do it on the... we can all listen.
We can all listen, and we can talk over it.
We can all get...
She's young. She's a young person.
Do you think we'll get kicked off Spotify if we play 5 seconds?
She's 18 years old. Oh, my God.
Olivia Rodrigo.
I know, I was not writing good music at 18.
Okay, here, hold on. I'm going to just, go into the middle of this song.
What?
Never even happened, baby. What the fuck is up with that?
Okay, that's as much as we can play.
Okay, yeah, that's... okay, so... Based on that clip of music, it sort of sounds like it's got wry, punky lyrics, similar to Billie Eilish, in that, that beat sounded very similar to "We Are Never Getting Back Together" by Taylor Swift, where there's a little more going on. She uses some Sprechstimme. Some speak singing in order to underscore the importance of some lines.
Yeah, maybe I didn't jump in at the hook, but if we play any more, we'll probably be kicked off Spotify and hunted down by the American government for copyright infringement. So,
Olivia Rodrigo will personally give us anal fissures.
You mean if I play this song, she'll come to my house and step on my balls?
She might come to your house and step on your balls if you play that song.
Dude.
That would be great. That would be great. I think... Okay, top 5 people you want to step on your balls?
Okay, Gillian Anderson.
Gillian Anderson, number 1. She's severe. She's beautiful.
Yeah, okay, Liv Tyler.
Liv Tyler, she's a gentle spirit and was raised by Todd Rundgren.
Now, number 3, Steven Tyler.
Steven Tyler, freaky man, got a mouth like the Salt Sucker Beast, got big flappy gummers.
Dude, I think of Steven Tyler and his toes as being like as dexterous as fingers, and I think he would really just get into the balls with his toes.
Yeah, he would massage and ripple the testicles.
Number 4, Friedrich Nietzsche.
Number 2 is Friedrich Nietzsche.
Okay. Oh, I was going up. So my number 1 is Gillian Anderson. Definitely.
Your number 1 is Gillian Anderson.
Yeah.
Okay, so your number 4
Nietzsche.
is Friedrich Nietzsche.
Yeah.
Okay, why Nietzsche?
I think his toes would probably be like a really interesting aromatic experience between my balls and his toes. You know?
Didn't wash a lot, yeah.
It would be, I think we would maybe, the resulting fungus from that could maybe create some new cheeses.
Yeah. We haven't had a lot of new cheeses, you know. I'm sick of the old cheese. Let's get some new cheese, you know. But the cheese hegemons won't allow it to happen.
That used to be how you would make a new cheese. Would 2 people who had never gotten together would get together and mingle their balls and their feet, and it would create a new fungus.
They would just be doing frotting,
right,
and doing frotourism.
And you cultivate that in someone's armpit hair, and then you rub cheese on that.
Yeah, cross-pollination.
So number 5 for ball stepping.
Ball stepping.
I think Marilyn Manson would do a good job.
He's a rapist, you know.
Yeah, I think he would. That's kind of why I pick him to step on my balls.
Because the rapist, you need a rapist to get the job done. Is what I'm saying.
Right. That's kind of why I'm against the death penalty. You know, stick him in prison, but maybe there's a use. You know, later on down the road when you need your balls stepped on.
To step on balls, make new cheeses.
If we go to war against China, wouldn't we want our craziest motherfuckers that we have in prison? Like, don't we want to set them loose in China?
Exactly. You know, that's what's gonna happen. Our craziest guys will just send there.
We send Marilyn Manson over to China.
He's one of our craziest guys. You know, he's capable of anything. Yeah, we're gonna have a machine that makes all Chinese soldiers look like that lady.
Yeah, we sent Harvey Weinstein over to China.
We sent Harvey Weinstein to just, and you know, he's got a thing for Asians. You know.
Oh boy. Well, maybe that was insensitive. We should not send him to China. We'll send him to Russia.
Harvey Weinstein armed only with his penis.
Yeah.
Just going ape shit. On those Russians, you know, in support of liberal democracy.
So what do you, I said my 2022 resolution is Robert Fripp, listening only to Robert Fripp. What about you? You got any New Year's resolutions?
My New Year's resolution is absolutely to start a Letterboxd account and make very serious reviews. No joke reviews.
No jokes, huh?
No jokes. This will not be a place for jokes. People use Letterboxd as a place for jokes, but as a place to learn about film.
Boy, so first film of the year will probably be Macbeth, right?
I haven't seen Macbeth. I would love to.
It's coming out. It's either coming out now or soon. So
it's came out on Christmas, and although a bunch of our theaters have shut down because of Omicron.
Da moo moo.
Yeah, huh? Exactly.
It sucks for all those guys in Baltimore named Omicron right now.
Yeah. A lot of guys are taking a lot of heat.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I want to circle back to the idea of having a weapon that makes all enemy combatants look like Mary Elizabeth Winstead, and then sicking Marilyn Manson on them, you know, as he's wont to do.
Well, before the show we were talking about your thing with
if we had Sean Penn as a combatant and made all of the soldiers look like Madonna, and just let Sean Penn loose in that.
Oh no!
Loose in that alley.
That's terrible. Well, let's move on to something a little more lighthearted.
Bad domestic. We just have a gun that makes it look like Bill Murray's wife, that makes him, and then stick Bill Murray in there and just have him go ape shit. You know.
What? Bill Murray did something bad to his wife?
Bill Murray, in his divorce proceedings, it was revealed that he domestically abused his wife.
Like with jokes or with his fists?
What with his fists? What we do is we get the gun to make the enemy combatants look like Johnny Depp's and get Amber Heard, to throw ape shit and throw glass.
I think I'm catching on to what you're doing here.
This is just an extended bit on domestic violence, which is very serious.
Let's go to a happier place where you were talking about changing the bullets from the Las Vegas shooter
into syringes
of vaccine.
With the vaccine, yeah.
Yeah. And how beautiful that would have been.
That would have been a beautiful moment, yeah. Stephen Paddock would have been a hero.
Right. Forcible mass vaccination,
People wouldn't like it at the time. But when COVID rolls around, suddenly they're wondering what Paddock put in them. And now they're like, "Oh my God, he was a saint. He was a saint actually." I have been spared. I think a lot of people would take, after 6 months, they wouldn't like it at first, but I think the forcible vaccinations, they would eventually get used to them.
Yeah, I mean, I'm of the mind that you should also include a dildo insertion up the butt at the same time.
You have to do that in order to make the blood vessels expand.
Oh, how funny would that be? All right, you can. If the army shows up with a big dildo and a needle.
Yeah. Everyone who have been holdouts, the virus is just getting worse and worse, and people are finally convinced, and it's like, sorry, you didn't take the old vaccine, so you have to do it the dildo way. That's the only one we have now. Yeah. That's what Bill Gates says.
I don't know. Nothing's good right now in the news.
Nothing's good in the news.
Let's see. Let's look down these list of topics we got here. We got at the top of the billing here is "Don't Look Up." Don't look up. Says Meryl Streep.
A bad movie.
Not a great movie.
Bad movie, but in an interesting way, because it exposes the weakness of liberal critique. Or media critique of environmental concern by itself being a terrible critique of a media critique of environmental concern. I mean, it's not terrible. So praise about the movie. A lot of the performances are really good.
They could have learned a thing or two from Mike Judge, in my opinion.
From Idiocracy?
Mike Judge, in the parlance of our times, does not forget the assignment, which is to make a funny movie. It must have jokes.
Is Idiocracy funny?
Yes.
I can't remember.
It's funny because there's jokes. There's at the beginning the guy's like, "I'm baiting, Mom. Answer the door."
Right, he's baiting. Yeah.
That's funny.
I remember.
That's timeless.
Upgrade is spelled funny.
Not sure.
City-sized Costco is funny. Yeah. He gets diagnosed as tarded.
It's got jokes.
Yeah, okay, yeah. Idiocracy has some jokes. I mean, people have complained about it because it has a socially Darwinistic view of evolution.
It's just like something. They could also learn a thing from like Talladega Nights or something where it had jokes in it. And the only few jokes were delivered by Jonah Hill, and there was one that I thought was funny, which is when he says "buck trilly 40" for $140 trillion.
Yeah,
is how much the asteroid is worth, and he's like, "Oh, buck trilly 40."
Buck trilly 40. Yeah, funny. I mean that's the problem with the movie is that it wants to skirt the line between being a sort of redemptive comedy. A redemptive drama, but also like an Apatow-like comedy where it's very irreverent, and it's constantly flitting between reverence and irreverence instead of just picking a lane. It doesn't do it well, doing both at the same time, and the problem is there are too many moments of redemption in it, which prevent it from becoming a comedy. Like, if Leonardo DiCaprio had kept fucking Kate Blanchett and just become a total bastard and not have a moment of redemption, I think that would have been a funnier way for the movie to go.
It doesn't make sense. The way they treated his character does not make sense.
No, like, why would this meek guy suddenly be into... Like, he's automatically so pumped up by hype that he's willing to do something out of the character that's already been established.
I mean...
But
yeah.
I don't know, maybe people are just like, it's Leo, so he'll fuck around. People know he fucks around.
Why do they have them all get... sorry if there's spoilers. They have them all get together at the end of the movie holding hands.
That's surprise. It's not funny.
What?
Not funny!
Aren't they aware
it's
that
not
like
funny.
everyone's families are like fractured by political divisions? It's like, you don't have... If you cheat on your wife and then she admits she cheats on you, you don't get back together to hold hands while the world is ending. You're like fighting and flinging shit at each other while the world is ending.
Yeah, why isn't anyone like... Yeah, I would be like crying and shitting my pants.
Yeah, I would be like rubbing shit all over my face and like being like, I'm rewilding, I'm going to the north. And
yeah, I'd be like trying to dig a hole and like bury myself in.
Yeah, why don't you dig a hole? I dig a big hole.
Yeah. So the premise of Don't Look Up, if you haven't seen it, don't. Even though it seems like everybody's seen this fucking movie.
Even if you watch 1 second of it, Netflix thinks it's a win. So you can either never click on it or just fucking click on it. You know, consume.
Yeah, I can't remember any jokes from it.
Buck 40 Chili's the only joke, yeah.
I think Timothy Chalamet is... Timothy Chalamet is funny as that Christian skateboarder, or that religious skateboarder. I like that character, I think... See, that's the problem with the movie. I like a lot of the individual characters in it. Like, there's a lot of good character work. Like, I like Mark Rylance's performance as the evil billionaire. Mm-hmm. I think he has a lot of interesting vocal tics and specificity that he brings to it that make that character interesting. Meryl Streep is terrible in it. She's the worst one in it, which is very funny.
I don't know. I mean... She's no better than or no worse than any of them, in my opinion. She had to just play. Dude, actors are they just do what the director says, man.
Yeah, man.
They ain't got no soul.
They're cattle. They're just pretty pieces of clay that you put in front of the camera and they say things.
It's like a human Xerox machine.
Exactly.
That's who we like are all concerned about their relationships about. You know, like, oh, who did the Xerox machine just start dating?
Exactly.
Another clone?
The machines, man.
Another fucking clone of itself? Yeah.
Yeah.
You gotta unplug, man.
The Oscars should go to a printer this year.
That's right.
The Oscars should go to a LAN party.
Man, you know what? You know what culture is? It's just like a copy of a copy of a copy. You know who said that?
Fight Club?
No, it's Trent Reznor. So close.
Trent Reznor.
Very close, actually. Yeah.
Okay. Did Fight Club back away? That's my favorite. One of my favorite Homer tropes is when he calls movie protagonists by the name of the movie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Did Payback give up?
Did Dances with Wolves die?
Yeah, Dances with Wolves die. In the movie, Dances with Wolves is funny. I call him Moonlight. This is when Moonlight had gay sex.
Is that the Cher movie?
No, that's the movie where the black kid is having trouble being gay.
Oh, all right, I'm thinking of Moonstruck.
Moonstruck, you could call, but either Cher or Nicolas Cage. I guess Cher is Moonstruck. Cher is Moonstruck in that movie. Okay. And who could forget dear old Spy Kids?
Spy Kids, good movie. I saw that in theaters.
Is it a good movie? I remember it being terrifying. I was like horrified by it.
Maybe I just was like happy because I was hanging out with someone at the time. My one friend that everyone else in the school hates and eventually gets bullied out of the school.
You were ghost worlding with somebody?
What do you mean? Oh, I was setting up ghost world. I was setting up elephant situations as much as I could. I was just like, it's like, who wants to be gay and kill everyone?
Oh, Gus Van Sant. American treasure.
No, dude, I watched that shit when I was 13, too. I was like, yes.
Yes! Oh, my God!
He knows exactly how I feel.
Yes, we're going to do it. No, I don't know. I hung out with a kid who everyone hated, and I did that a lot.
Mm-hmm. Hang out with the misfits, the outcasts.
I don't know what happened. Like, I don't know why that happened to me, but I'm not, like, wearing it as a badge of pride. I would have rather been a popular kid.
Yeah. We all would like to be popular, yeah. Hey, you take what you can get. If you're alone too much, you go insane. So you have to find other people that have been discarded. Form your own little community of terrible people.
Yeah. Sometimes I don't know, this particular kid just had bad instincts when it came to social interaction. Like, he would lie about stuff to try to seem cool.
Oh, yeah.
And
classic stuff.
And people would obviously realize he's lying and then just...
I could do a kickflip.
No,
you can't.
He said he got into a knife fight and won at a gas station. And so, like, the bullies, like, called his mom and asked his mom. She was like, what? No.
Wait, how old was he when he said he got into a knife
12.
fight? That's too young. He wasn't getting into knife fights.
I mean, that might happen, like, in New York in the 90s or in particular places, or Baltimore in the 2000s in particular places, but I guess it could have happened in Dallas. Like, the thing is, it could have happened.
I guess some 12-year-olds are getting into knife fights, but not this 12-year-old. This was the type of 12-year-old that doesn't get into knife fights.
Well, his thing was that he also was, like, really into karate, and he was like, I can probably kill you.
Mm. Were his hands registered as lethal weapons?
Right, that kind of thing, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But I would go to his house a lot because he had every single console.
Amazing, of course. That's how you get friends when you're the weird kid, is because your parents buy you material goods.
He had Maxim magazines. That was sick. And then
Maxim was great. You could the top 100 hot ladies.
He would brush his teeth and just spit out the toothpaste and not rinse. I was fascinated by that behavior.
That's crazy. You have a mouth coated with film?
No rinsing, huh? And he's like, no rinsing. You got to keep it clean. Like, okay. So yeah, I think he works at Renaissance fairs now. I think that's what he does now.
So he landed on his feet.
Yeah, sure. Man, yeah.
What is he, a medieval blacksmith?
Making $16 an hour at a Renaissance fair.
Doing what he loves,
Yeah, he's getting into knife fights.
Eating turkey legs constantly.
He's doing fake knife fights and telling people.
There you go. Full circle. He's lying about being a medieval peasant now.
You ever check in on some of, like, the worst nerds from your past?
I was the worst nerd from my past. I was the person that someone like you would befriend.
And that's kind of what happened, if you think about it.
Exactly. It all repeats. The cycle repeats.
No, I was by far not your first friend at college. Your first friend was maybe Steve?
Yeah, Steve. There was also this guy named Eric who eventually became a corporate lawyer. Not good Eric. This was, I don't think he'll ever listen to this podcast. Eric. There's sweet, benevolent, tall Eric. And this was venal, fat Eric. But he later didn't become fat. But he was smart, but he was also venal.
Venal as in, that means like kind of...
susceptible to bribery.
Oh, okay. Wow. So, do you have any examples of that?
No, just, but I mean it in the sense that he'd be willing to forgo his morality for not even a particularly large amount of money.
So you gave him how much money to suck your dick, you think?
I gave him all my Axl Rose records and to get him in the mood.
Oh, man. Like Chinese
my
Democracy?
Axl Rose solo records. No, that's Guns N' Roses. I'm talking about my Axl Rose solo records.
Okay.
Yeah, have you never heard his solo material?
No, I can't say I have.
It's mostly spoken word.
I have listened to.
But he talks in the pig squeal voice.
Oh man, now I'm blanking on David Lee Roth's solo stuff. Yeah. Yeah,
this is also mostly spoken word.
China Rose, I think it's called.
Yeah, he talks about the diaspora a lot. He's always talking about the diaspora.
Is David? Yeah, I guess Roth is. That's a giveaway there.
You think he's big into Israel? You think David Lee Roth likes Israel?
I think he's totally brain fried.
I think David Lee Roth
beyond knowing countries. I think
he doesn't know countries. Right. You think he doesn't have an opinion on Israel?
Yeah.
I know Adam Sandler's pro-Israel. Jerry Seinfeld's pro-Israel. Seth Rogen, not so pro-Israel.
Nope.
Not as pro-Israel as you'd think. Maybe, like, he won't go full-on pre-Palestine, but he will be like, maybe I don't like Israel so much. This is my flawless Seth Rogen impression.
It's reminding me of the impression we had at the top of the show that you should not... Oh, the James Hetfield. That kind of sound like... No, don't do it. Stop. No. We're going to lose all our listeners again. They just came back.
Yeah, it's too much clipping. Fucking, is in the news this previous week, or maybe previous 2 weeks, in case you didn't notice, we were gone last week for a holiday special.
We had to take a holiday break.
Yeah. We were feeling the heat from doing our once a week podcast.
Sometimes you got to take a break. I mean...
Sometimes you do.
I had to work on some personal issues. I did take a mustache break, if you know what that means. It's, other people will know.
People in the know will know.
People will know what that means.
Take a mustache break, you know. Get your oils and take a mustache break.
What happened the previous week or past couple weeks?
Oh, well, there was another mass shooting, which is, ho-hum for America.
Right.
Whatever.
I missed this one. I didn't see it in the papers, and people were talking about it, and I was like, what? There was a mass shooting? What? I didn't see it. What?
It wasn't really that widely reported. It was, I think, 4 people were slain, unfortunately.
It seemed like the guy knew everybody, so it was more like a targeted thing. I don't know.
It was like a revenge thing. It was in the Colorado tattoo community. He was taking out specific people in the Colorado tattoo community. But this person whose name is Roman McClay. So that's another thing. Whenever there's like a mass shooter and they say, "Oh, don't publish information about the shooter because it deifies them." And do you ever feel that guilt? I don't know if it deifies them particularly. I guess to a certain subset of people, who are like worship Elliot Rodger as the supreme gentleman or something like that.
Yeah, because those people generate the next one sometimes. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. When that happened once, I mean, I think like I think it was one of the Canadian
Alec
guys?
Manassian, the van attacker, directly references Elliot Rodger as an inspiration.
So that's when it became pretty clear you shouldn't do like a documentary about the guy's like life story.
Yeah, but I don't know if I'm just being perfectly honest here. Whenever one of those shootings happen, I do not look at the biographies of the victims. I am instantly drawn to the biography of the perpetrator because I want to know, what in his life made him do this. That is that sick fascination. It's the same thing which propels someone to like the true crime genre. I'm not saying that it's a good thing or a wholesome thing. I'm just saying it's a weird instinct that you have to know what makes a man start fires, right?
Yeah, I used to be a lot like that. But like I would always look for the manifesto and be like, what did they write? Maybe I feel that way too.
Oh, elephant. Right? Elephant.
Yeah. And then I kind of grew out of it. It's like the original ending of Clockwork Orange in the books, which is not the ending in the movie. The ending in the movie is Kubrick taking artistic license. The ending in the book is that the guy, he's like, and in the end I learned it was all a phase and I grew out of it and I stopped being a fucking psycho.
Yeah, and I like that ending because that actually accurately describes like a lot of the people who were like psychotic in their 20s that I knew just end up becoming very normal people and button down.
I like to think of mass shootings in like a structuralist way because capitalism is driving us insane. It's driving men insane.
Yeah.
And it's not good.
In a particular way.
Yeah, it's making men be like the only way I can do anything to go down in the history books or in, what you would have 10,000 years ago is like the only way I can have notoriety in my tribe is to slay a giant beast. And now it's the only way I can have notoriety in any way is to kill everyone.
Mm-hmm.
I think. I don't know. Maybe that's one aspect.
No, I think that is. I think, it seems trite now, but that thing in Fight Club where he's talking about that we are born into this society that promises we're all going to be rock stars or celebrities. And I think that's to some degree true. Everyone has. I think, I know for me at least, maybe I'm just projecting, but there is this idea that I have to be, if not famous, wildly successful and respected and at least have notoriety within my chosen occupation or something. And if I fail to live up to that, then there is this sense of despair.
That's why it's good to take too many psychedelics and experience ego death.
Yes.
It's good for you
Realize
to do
you
that.
are nothing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think a lot of people have that sense of that protagonist syndrome. Like they think they are the hero of the world. And the fact that they aren't getting what they want out of it, means that their revenge is justified in some way. Their revenge against the world is justified in some way.
Yeah, we got to get these young boys psychedelics.
Yeah, I think that would help. I think if someone had just done a tranche of shrooms with Stephen Paddock.
Well, he's not one of these young boys. I'm talking about the younger kids who.
I think it's him too. With Stephen Paddock.
I don't know. I don't want to get it that because Paddock and that whole thing. It's maybe
there's a mysteriousness about him, and there's the idea that there's some government tampering with it, or that he's some sort of asset. But I don't know, if I were to take just a wild guess, and I'm not saying this is correct, but I think that mass shootings are born out of the same usually the same desire is you see society creating something you can't have, and you want it, but you sense that you're infinitely far away from it. And so you want to destroy the happiness that you see in other people. I think that's usually that's what you want. It's just revenge against a happiness that you aren't able to feel.
Okay.
If I were to psychologically diagnose it in a totally bullshit way that no one should take seriously.
It's better than what I came up with. So.
Well, what did you come up with?
Some kind of weird evolutionary bullshit, evolutionary psychology bullshit, like wanting to make your mark upon the world.
Do you remember being a frustrated young man and seeing people in a relationship and being angry at them, like seeing people doing public displays of affection and being mad at them?
This is one of the reasons why same-sex education is kind of good. Because to answer you, no. Because I went to an all-boys school, and so I didn't see what the guy. Some guys had girlfriends, but I wasn't friends with them. But I also didn't have to see it.
You never experienced that residual jealousy.
I never felt jealous of anyone in my high school, in a romantic way, which is, now that I'm looking back on it, probably a pressure valve that was not just one pressure valve of many that was not screwed on. So if that one had been screwed on, maybe I would have really lost my shit. But you're telling me he's going out with her?
Yeah. Well, a lot of those incel mass shootings are born out of that instinct. The seeing what you can't have and wanting it desperately and not knowing what about yourself is so flawed that you can't have it.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm not a proponent of same-sex education.
No.
Because it's hard for anyone who's gay.
Yeah.
It makes it really hard for anyone who's gay, more so than keeping everyone together. So that's bad for
usually, gay people need women to protect them in high school.
Well, you got to have, because if everyone's together, then there's always the sort of sexual tension between everyone constantly. But if it's if it's same sex, then there's a minority who's having a sexual tension, and then that can be a bullying situation, I think more so. But I don't really know.
Yeah. I had same-sex education as well, and the gay kids in my school were bullied mercilessly because they were gay.
If there was a way to measure bullying, which there isn't, but they would be interesting to see if there was like less bullying in like co-ed versus same-sex.
Steven, you've just hit on something. We need the Bullyometer.
Okay.
To measure bullying. No one before has attempted to measure levels of bullying.
Right, like scientifically with a unit. Well,
I guess you could say force exerted, or what you do is you measure the cortisol levels of the bullied.
What should the unit be? Let me propose we call the unit a Rundgren.
A Rundgren?
Right.
Why did
notorious
Rundgren
bully Todd Rundgren?
Notorious bully Todd
bullying
Rundgren.
all the musicians, being like, play it this way, play it my way. You play it my way. So, I don't know. I'm making that up, but a Rundgren.
Rundgren, yeah, he was really nasty.
He was a nasty man.
But he raised Liv Tyler.
Yeah.
For that, we can thank him.
So I've been thinking of a joke this whole week.
Okay, what's your joke?
The joke is that your dad used to make his friends from the locker room. He used to bring home his friends from the locker room, and you'd have to make them milkshakes.
Right, yeah.
And so your dad would be like, come back to my house and my boy will make you a milkshake.
Okay.
And that just made me laugh a lot.
Well, that's a real thing. That's like there's a trope in literature and movies where it's like, and I used to dance for my dad's friends for pennies, and they'd say, "Go, Charlie, go!" And I didn't like them, and I danced through the tears. I was crying the whole time, but they would throw pennies at me, and they hurt. Oh my God, they hurt. And they'd put me in a dress, and then they'd make me sing.
They give you a black eye.
Yeah. Oh, how drunk they'd get! I'd remember their breath.
Like British industrial times.
Yeah. Oh, Stig, get out here! Dance for the mates! Dance for the mates! Festa! Festa! I'm sorry!
It used to be that the only entertainment a family had would be to abuse the youngest and weakest child.
Yeah, exactly. That's how you got along.
Right, and that's why there was so much less bullying in schools, because schools were like a place for all the abused children to sort of come together and unite.
Yeah.
And then once the home life became less intense, then the school life became where all the bullying took place that they internalized over the years.
What if we had a machine that made all the enemy combatants look like Eric Clapton's son and then sicked Eric Clapton on them?
Have you noticed that the decrease in child abuse corresponds directly to the increase in school shootings?
No, but now that you mention it, we should be hitting our kids.
That's called that. What that is a lie that I just did.
I don't know. It could be true.
No, it's not
but
true at all.
We're not hitting our kids anymore. We're not shooting our kids anymore, so they aren't getting an appropriate fear of guns.
No, that's like something that can. I think that an argument conservatives have made.
That hitting children makes them more disciplined?
Yeah. I have, in fact, upon further recollection, seen that in print.
My theory is that your dad doesn't get to hit you. Your mom gets to hit you like 3 times. And even, just slap you upside the head a little. Not injure you. Don't leave a bruise. But your mom gets to hit you a couple of times because she's not as strong. This varies, of course. If your mom is the strongest woman in the world, might not be okay for her to hit you.
Yeah, your dad
might not be
your dad
okay.
can make you make his friends milkshakes.
Yeah, that's what your dad can do.
Yeah.
Your dad can't hit you, but he can force you to make milkshakes for his friends.
The definition of milkshake is left up to you to determine.
Yeah.
Could be
a milkshake can really be anything. Yeah.
It could be what is bringing his friends to the yard, if you will.
There you go. A reference to Khalees. Everybody loves Khalees. That song is so old.
I know.
I'm so old.
That's from when we were in college. It's like 10 years ago.
I think it's from before that. I think it's from when we were in high school.
Really?
More than 10 years ago, yeah.
Maybe it was
from like 2007,
yeah. That's when time stopped for me, is 2007.
Yeah.
When I went to college.
Right before Obama was elected.
Well, I hadn't smoked weed then, so that's the last time I had like an actual memory.
You have strong memories back then.
Haven't had any memories in like 15 years.
You don't need them. You know, people say humans are a collection of memories. That's not true. We're meat that walks.
And jacks off.
Mm-hmm. It's one of the funnier things we do.
Yeah, like a pig in the blanket.
What? Like the penis is the pig. Like it looks like a pig in the blanket.
A pig in the blanket. It kind of looks like what it looks like when you're jacking off. Like the croissant is the hand.
Like when you're moving your penis skin over your head,
and then the weenie is like your weenie.
Exactly.
And
there
like,
you go.
Size corresponds for me.
Sure.
When I see pigs in the blanket,
you're saying
you're
like, having a tiny penis.
That looks exactly... You've made delicious hors d'oeuvres, Mrs. Johnson. It looks exactly like me jacking off.
It looks exactly like me jacking off. It looks exactly like a foreskin around a small penis.
Penis.
A small penis. We do this with a lot of penis.
Mm-hmm.
You need penis in your writing. You need penis in your fashion. You need penis in your soul. I want to sympathize with the small penis community, but I myself am not a member of it.
No.
In fact...
Of course not.
In fact, dear listener, would you be surprised to know? I wanted to join the penis club, but I wouldn't have any club that would have me as a member.
Wow.
See, these are jokes.
These
are hot, tasty jokes.
There's an average dick guy Reddit. So there's a Reddit for guys with average dicks. And
nice.
They're just... The comments are just guys with 7.5 inches being like, I feel so small, and then a bunch of other guys being like, fuck you.
That's funny. I haven't felt great distress about the size of my penis. That's never been a huge subject for me. I mean, it comes up so often. Like, you see the guys in porn are like, I wonder what it's like to have one of those, like, huge cactus motherfuckers.
All right. Hey, man, a little part of you has to admit you're still holding out a little bit of hope for one last growth spurt.
Yeah, everyone is like, maybe it's not done yet. Maybe there's more to this story.
How can I unlock the testosterone that resides in my spine? I'm like doing
Look,
spinal
we've all
cracks.
tried to jelk. Yeah, we've all tried to do turbo jelking, but it never works out.
One of the early episodes of Degrassi is about penis size.
It's about jelking?
Is that the penis pump? I mean, or is that the weights?
They jelk in it? I forget what... Hold on, I'm looking up jelking right now.
Because I know you can attach weights to your penis, and that can help.
It's a penis stretching exercise. It involves massaging your penis tissue, stretching the skin to create micro tears that look engorged when they heal.
Ooh.
Jelking.
Okay, well...
Does jelking actually work?
How funny would it...
So did they jelk in Degrassi?
No, they had a penis pump in Degrassi.
Oh, great.
But it was
penis
weird.
Pumps don't work.
It's like a fourth grader.
Oh, yeah.
So
what?
It was almost like a South Park episode. It was kind of weird. It was like a live-action South Park episode.
Yeah, that sounds too young. I wasn't worried about penis pumps at age 9. I was worried about
Well, were you in
Pokemon.
a same-sex school? Were you around other boys?
I was around other
See,
boys.
that's why.
There you go.
You don't have to do any penis pumping when it's not
you're not nervous. You're not afraid of these heterosexual problems.
Maybe it was 7th grade. I don't know.
He was 9. He was 9 years old for sure.
I don't know. I think that's 7th grade that Degrassi starts.
Yes, it's a middle school. Famously a middle school.
But
that's when all your problems start happening.
But then they go into high school.
Yeah, and they have even more problems, and even more people get assaulted.
I stopped watching them in high school. I didn't care anymore.
Mm-hmm. Now, have you gone back to you should watch 80s Degrassi.
It's hard to find. It's not on any of the streaming sites.
I wonder if they have it on CBC.
Yeah.
I wonder if the CBC... I don't think it was a CBC show. I have no idea. This deep Degrassi lore that we're talking about. What is your favorite Degrassi moment?
Probably when... That's hard. I'm not prepared.
Okay.
We'll have to do a top 5 Degrassi moments.
We will.
episode.
I'll watch some Degrassi. We'll talk about Degrassi.
I don't want to.
Well, okay, so we were talking about a mass shooting, and then we got off topic, like we always do. That's our trademark, right. You see. So this mass shooting, this time, was perpetrated by a guy called Roman McClay, which is not his real name. That's his book name, which he uses to write elaborate Turner Diaries-esque fantasy novels. And he was also made some headway in the right-wing internet media sphere. So there was nothing particularly interesting except that he was praised by several figures in right-wing media before he went on a killing spree. But I don't think, mass shootings are pretty rarely politically motivated, right? They're that's not usually a thing that happens. Dylan Roof was politically motivated, but I argue even that was more born out of a personal issues than any sort of cohesive idea of trying to promote.
If you read The Atlantic, then the mass shootings are caused by white male rage.
White male rage.
Which is politicized by them somehow.
But mass shootings aren't just committed by white guys, are they? I guess they are. Most of them are, probably.
I don't know. I haven't done...
I can remember back to VTech. Was VTech white male rage?
No.
There's no Asian male rage.
There's autistic male rage.
Exactly.
This is a subset.
See, that's... Well, I wonder... autism is... Adam Lanza, the shooter of the Sandy Hook shooting, wasn't the theater shooting? Wasn't the guy who did the Dark Knight theater shooting also autistic?
Well, I don't know. I don't know
about it. But what the common denominator is social isolation. Is this?
Yeah, I think
that's not necessarily true.
Well, yeah, I think the pandemic we might be percolating some new ones right now with the social isolation.
Yeah,
I think we're probably cooking up some new insane dudes who've been holed up for 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
So watch out at the mall, America.
Yeah. Well, that's the nice thing about the pandemic is no mass gatherings.
Watch out. Yeah, but that dude who just went nuts at the Walmart.
Yeah.
There's that dude that went nuts at the grocery store. Watch out.
Everything will be delivery. Everything will be delivered by guys whose lives are much worse than you, who you still hate.
And then you're going to get delivery guy shoots 18 people in their own homes.
We're going to have a lot of delivery guy murders. It's going to happen. They're the most important people on earth, and they are the most spurned.
I was thinking, do other countries have delivery stuff, Europe? Because growing up, I was always hearing about how dysfunctional Europe's mail system was, because they were all unionized up to the neck, and everybody's on strike, and the mail people refused to deliver the mail constantly. And I wish we had a French correspondent who could fill us in on Amazon.fr. And how well they deliver stuff, how the next day air goes there.
Oh, my God. France. The hoary and wild country of France.
I would love to move there and live there out in the country with Varg.
You've been there. You've been to Provence.
I've been to France.
Have you been to Provence?
Yeah, I've been to Provence.
What do you like about it?
I went to Provence in the winter, and that sucked.
Okay.
Because they have something called, I think it's Le Mistral, which is a very cold wind that blows there. So that was crazy. It was an ice cold wind. But yeah, I've been to Paris a couple of times, and been to a couple other places. I love France. I love France.
I've never cared for French culture myself.
You gotta go there.
I don't like the food.
Immerse yourself in it, man. You gotta get immersed.
It's probably stinky.
It's like a bath of strong perfume.
Do you know about Paris syndrome?
Yeah, Japanese people experiencing it.
They have this highly romanticized view of France in their head, and then they go to Paris and they realize, oh, all of these people are weird. I don't like it.
I don't get that. I don't get that syndrome. Every time I've been to Paris, I've been like, oh, it's great. So it's like fantastic. It looks great. I take pictures, have a good time.
Is it dirty? Is it smelly?
There's dog poop everywhere in France.
Really?
They hate picking up dog poop. They will not do it.
Interesting.
You got to watch where you're walking.
There's a lot of these cultural mores I don't understand.
That might be why the Japanese don't like it. But the Japanese people, as far as I know, are... I don't know.
There's a pretty big culture of like looking after your own shit in Japan.
How's their dog do going? I don't know.
I think it's pretty good. Really? I think generally pretty good. Yeah, right. I think if you go to Japan, it's noted for its overall cleanliness.
I wasn't sure. I mean, maybe is that, but that's probably not why.
I've never been to either country.
It's probably from maybe you think it's from animated movies and animated depictions of Paris, like it being sort of fantastical in a way.
Yeah, and I also think that a specific quality of Japanese culture is to get very, very obsessed with something. It's like there is no everyone in Japan has an autistic hyperfixation. And some people get this hyperfixation on France and turn it into a fantasy world. And
yeah, I gotta say, I've only had good times there. I would definitely move there. One highlight was my dad and I were there. My dad was very depressed and he's refusing to leave the apartment, which was actually the second time he did that on a French vacation. So
being depressed in an apartment is actually a pretty good way to have the French experience.
So then it was just like up to me to do everything. So I would go out, and he got really constipated one day, and he was like, "You got to go get me laxatives." So I was like, "I'm gonna pick the furthest pharmacy away and walk there." And I got there, and then I was like trying to explain what I needed in my not so good French.
Laxatif.
It's like pour le caca. Mon père, il peut pas faire le caca dans son cul.
Yeah. La poubelle. Dans la poubelle. No, that's trash can.
Yeah. Sur la toilette, il peut pas le faire caca.
Yeah. You're just saying that over and over again.
J'ai besoin du Metamucil. Est-ce que vous savez qu'est-ce que c'est Metamucil? And then I had to spell Metamucil in French.
Metamucil.
And the French...
Metamucil.
The French letters are different. Like, you pronounce them different. Like M, E, T,
A,
M, U, C.
That sounds made up.
I, L, Y.
Y. Yeah, that was the worst one. Everyone in my French class was always W. That's the one that they had the best time with. Yeah. It's a double V, which is a better description of a W than, because in English it's W, which makes no sense. They're V's. They're fucking V's. What is this, Rome? Yeah. Are we using our V's used now? Is nothing sacred? Would the Velvet Underground's famous album VU be spelled VV? It doesn't make any fucking sense.
The Welvet
Underground.
The Welvet.
Be very quiet. I'm listening to the Velvet Underground. Ha 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 ha. Lou Reed makes such sad songs.
So this guy that did the shooting, he was like a Twitter guy.
He was a Twitter guy.
Like do you know how many followers he had?
A negligible amount.
Was it negligible?
I think it was like 6,000 or something like that.
6,000?
Yeah.
That's not negligible.
I guess not. But he was a relative. He was well known within his narrow range of sort of right-wing return guy politics.
Like right-wing reply guy, you mean?
No, return? He wasn't return as
like
in
return
like
with the V.
RETVUR, because they're the ones replacing the V's with U's.
Yeah.
Fuck them.
Wanting the W to be a double V is kind of a right-wing type of deal.
Yeah.
I do not endorse this view.
Okay.
Or
yes.
I do not endorse this view.
This view. So we're just gonna pronounce all our W's as double V's right now.
Well, there was also
That's a very, very good idea.
There's also a shooting in L.A. that happened. Some happy-go-lucky cop shot a guy, and then he shot the girl hiding in the dressing room behind him.
Yeah,
that sucks.
Bad. Yeah. And that's it for precision strikes.
Right.
Well, that is a narrative that you hear pushed time and time again. Is we hire experts and they're specially trained in firearms, and they're able to use them. They should be able to use them liberally, because without that threat of violence, what is the point of a police force? But you would just end up in a situation like this where there's just so much collateral damage.
Yeah, the police should have a
from
baton.
their use of that force. Yeah,
the police should have a baton, an extendable baton, and they should have pepper spray and a taser. All them shits.
Yeah.
No guns.
No guns.
Maybe a BB gun. Maybe they can have like a little BB gun.
Airsoft.
Pop,
yeah.
pop.
Give them airsoft rifles. Yeah.
It's like, ow, fuck you, cop, ow.
Yeah.
Don't tase me, bro.
But we give a lot of leeway to the use of force. It doesn't change. Well,
don't you think that? And the thing that's sad about it is like that cop, by all accounts, was a good guy, and right now probably would rather switch places with the girl he killed. And because we live in like this weird society where it's like condoned to use violence constantly, he now is going to probably have a horrible life.
Yeah.
It's like we just
I wouldn't call him a good guy. Once you take the cop pill, it's sort of hard to salvage yourself. I mean, a good guy in the sense that he understands and feels the moral wrong he did.
He wasn't one of these cops who, as far as I know, who's like got 5 infractions of...
He wasn't a Chauvin type.
Yeah, he doesn't have like 5 like too much force infractions. He was like a guy who's like, I'm going to change the world by being a good cop.
Yeah. And but hence ACAB. You can't be a good cop because you are empowered with... you have too much force you are capable of using.
Yeah, ACAB personalizes it, though. I'm not a fan of the slogan.
Not a fan of ACAB.
I agree with the sentiment. But, I mean, it's hard to sloganize, like...
Well, everybody hates the word systemic now. Nobody likes the word systemic. Nobody wants to hear it. They think it's like... As soon as you say systemic... No, get it away from me. Doesn't make a difference, because there's no way to say systemic without sounding hectoring.
That's why I try to say structural.
Structural is better because it sounds like It sounds like mechanics.
Structures, man.
Yeah. Not materialist structural analysis, because it's like you're moving big girders of words and ideas.
Yeah, it's
systemic. It sounds like some sort of alternative teaching program where they have kids fashion festive gourds and give them, instead of letter grades, give them frogs.
It's very
frogs.
strange. It's very strange to have this kind of stuff happen, because we could have it almost equally as violent a society if the cops just beat the shit out of him with hammers, and then the little girl would be fine. We live in an insane... I don't understand what is going on with the guns.
So you heard it here, folks. Hammer cops.
Right. Why not?
It's going to solve all the problems. Hammer cops.
The nice thing about hammer cops is their operating range is like 8 feet.
Well, unless they start throwing the hammers, which they would almost certainly
The hammers
do.
are going to be fucking... Like, they're going to be chained to the cop's outfit.
Oh,
okay?
good idea.
They're going to be able to throw it. You know what? It's going to be a long chain. It's going to be an 8-foot chain. They can throw it 8 feet, and then they can get it back.
So people know the range of the hammer. They have a better chance of surviving.
Right. And then if there's a real bad guy, you can get the cops with the longer chains. They can throw the hammers
further. See, that's what... no more drone warfare anymore. Just hammers. Okay, just go in there with hammers.
The cop, you don't need generally to shoot someone if he's more than 8 feet away. You don't need, again, if he's less than 8 feet away, you can just hit him, sidle up and hit him with a hammer, like on the head, like a Monty Python sketch. Just
exactly.
Boop. Or a Dave Chappelle thing, when he's always.
using the microphone to simulate
a cop knocking him out,
knocking someone out with a baton. Yeah, he was funny once.
Yeah, he was funny once. That was like, Johnson, he's still here.
Yeah, that's funny. That's funny. Damn it. Oh well. What have I been doing? I've been doing nothing but watching movies. You know what I watched is Minority Report. Right,
nice.
Which is a funny movie because, like, right at the beginning is like, we can only see murder. Rapes, forget about those. We can't see rapes, but the precogs can see murders.
That's all that's the precogs' fault.
Yeah, I blame them.
Systematic bias, maybe. I don't know. But
it would be a different movie if you were preventing rapes and Tom Cruise. They foresee that Tom Cruise is going to rape a guy. And he has to. Look, here's my new movie. It's Minority Report with rapes instead of murders. Everyone's going to love it.
Coming to the Lifetime Network.
Yeah.